All right. So, what do you guys think of an assignment like this?
That's okay.
Yeah.
No, it gave you a reason to use words that you normally wouldn't be using.
Wes, how do you feel about it?
I enjoyed it. It was different, you know.
All right. So, who here would feel the least persecuted if I picked them to go first and present in about 5 minutes? Right? Wes? And Young.
Is it?
And Rosalind. And Jetta. And Calvin.
Yes.
Good. All right. We've determined our running order. Guys, please use this 5 minutes to either review what you have on screen or print out what you have. And practice reading out loud, either to yourself or to a neighbor. Because I will be calling on you to present these. That means I don't want to see errors, grammar, tenses, whatever. So practice reading them out loud. Get comfortable with your own words. And we're going to start promptly at 3:40 or so. So it's about 5-10 minutes. Got it?
Yeah.
Good. I'm actually going to make it mandatory for you guys to partner up. How do you feel about that, Michelle? You're going to read this out loud to someone as part of your warm-up for reading out loud in the class. So you're working with Ms. Rosalind. Diane,
Yes.
you're working with Mr. Calvert
Okay.
and not doing your homework. If I see anyone with their homework screen open, I will come at them with this tepid coffee and there will be scaldings.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought we were starting now.
No.
All right,
So-
never mind. It's one.
Good. Ms. Rosalind, please close your homework. That's why it's homework. Great. And Mr. West and Ms. Young, I assume you can work together to hash out each other's individual strengths verbally.
No problem.
Good.
What we gotta do now?
You and Diane, after you finish reading it to yourselves, are going to practice reading it to each other.
You go first.
It was extremely downhearting.
Honest, short to the point.
The thought that I would have to make a sentence to make a sentence exciting more example of my life. It seemed as though the sadness of my gloomy experience is being
More joyful.
more joyful
Yeah.
than previously. Thrilled, it made me very elated that I had up-hearted finished my assignment. It seems as though my July 25th, 2013 experience in class was a
Excellent.
All right.
Okay.
I had, okay. Finished my assignment, that has been changed. I had up-heartedly, finished my assignment.
I had, what said that again?
Read it. I had up-heartedly,
I had,
finished the second sentence above the last. Second sentence
I
up,
can't.
right above July 25th.
I
The
had,
second sentence below the bottom, the
you here?
sixth sentence, yeah, read that to yourself again, and see if it makes sense.
Thrilled, that made me very elated that I had the party
Oh, okay.
Finished. So now it has to come out. So your subject is about your project.
Yeah.
Seasons of wonderment.
So your example, your life was wonderful, there was no happiness or joyful in it, and the joy that you get out of all of this is that you finished your assignment? That's how I'm reading it. If I was to
It
read
seems
this
as
and
though
didn't know
my-
you,
Huh?
if I was to get this paper and just read you, that's what I'm thinking, that you had no joyful in your life. You had a mournful life, because you have an example right there. And the only thing that you're excited and uphearted about is the fact that you finished this on July 25th, 2015, the same day that it was assigned to you. So there's nothing going on in your life that you're happy or you're sad, but you're mournful example in your life.
It's what this is.
You're excited, mournful.
I'm excited with it.
Right there, to make a certain exciting, mournful example of my life. You're excited about being mournful.
We usually that.
All this up there.
To make that
It was extremely downhearted, the thought that I would have to make a sentence, to make a certain exciting, mournful example of my life. It's the opposites. Exciting is the opposite of mournful. Mournful means sad, exciting means happy. So you're doing your
That's what I was told to do.
yeah, you were told to write a story about anything in your life that made you sad and made you happy.
The day.
Not today in your life. Did you
I
have
use the day.
Did you have something exciting in your life that you want to express?
No.
Did you have anything mournful in your life that you want to express?
Mournful.
What made you sad? Something that did you ever work?
Yeah.
Okay, your first day of work. Was it a happy day? Was it a sad day? What was the experience that you had that day?
And that's the
That
right
made-
thing you write down?
That's what you're supposed to write. Okay, let me read mine to you. Okay.
Take a listen, Mr. Yancey.
And just listen to what, during the course of my life, I had numerous jobs. My first day at work actually had begun working in a lunch truck, which was owned by my Uncle Joe. Being 9 years old at the time, I had no idea I was being underpaid. It saddens me to think that a family would pay me with food. That saddened me. As the years went on, I had become a cosmetologist, and currently I have been licensed for 35 years. I remember my first day at the hair salon. It was as it was yesterday. I was oh so very excited, okay? Thinking that I would be working on clients' hair, such as coloring, cutting, and styling. What a depressing day. Sad. To find out I was going to be shampooing, sweeping floors, and folding tails. As time went on, I did become an all-around stylist, and I am ever so joyful, happy that I have had an opportunity in my life to have a tree. Okay, that's the second paragraph. And you go like, I was 35 years old working as a hairstylist. A dear friend asked me to drive her for a job interview at Edmonds Stable. Not only did I drive her, I also was hired on that day. I would be working during the Philadelphia Eagles football team home games. So being thrilled, happy, was the least of what I was feeling. First home game, the
Yeah,
weather
so
was
where's
gloomy,
this from?
sad. Okay? We both were
Alright.
assigned to the Southern
Go over and sit
level.
with Miss
For anyone who is familiar with
Miss
the
Carroll
Stadium
and
knows,
Mr.
look
West
out,
and
share
work with them.
mailers.
Charlie,
I should have that on rotation.
Mr.
And the team fumbled the
What's up?
ball,
that
the
floor
fans
is
would
like,
become
I didn't do
miserable,
it, it's really
sad,
messy, I'll
and
clean
show
it up,
signs of
where's the?
sorrow, sad.
So,
All the
don't
chaos,
worry.
I was
We
elated
got
to
it.
be working there, elated, happy.
Okay.
So
Like, I
that's
didn't do it, I don't wanna get
Is that
blamed for it.
good? The only thing I have to change is.
Because that's what we do. We're like, that Carol Young. When you're out here, you gotta just mess things up
So me and
somehow.
whoever I'm working with.
Yeah, go
Right.
over
I should
and
have
work with
all
Mr.
that.
West
Pretty
and Miss
devotion
Young.
here.
Like, listen to their stuff and talk to them about it. about what
Okay.
you wrote.
So when you're
Like
writing
practice
something,
saying it, so when I
that's
throw
good
you
that
up
you're
there
using a lot
and you're
of
being
words,
recorded,
but
you won't be
there's
like,
no,
my
there's
fingernails
no,
are
like,
suddenly very interesting.
In that body of work, there's no foundation. Do you know what I mean? To build
I
on.
think I
You're
do.
just speaking, you're just saying all these words about doing this experience, but there's no, like, you don't have anything to build on. Okay, I was extremely downhearted. Okay, you can say, you know, you started off as I walked into class today, I thought it was going to be an easy and exciting day. I'm sitting here at my computer and I realize I have to write about something that I really don't want to get into my family and my personal life, which makes me sad.
I ain't got none of that.
Okay? So that's, but at least you're telling a story of how you came here and you're sitting here and, you know, and you could write a little bit about your time at the school and what makes you get up every morning and come to the school. Because then you're telling a story. The person who's listening can get an idea of who you are. I mean, you used all the words,
That's all I wanted to do.
but there's no, in that
Substance.
body, there's no substance, yeah, there's no reason for that being there. It doesn't make,
You ready to put somebody in the hot seat, bro?
Only those that look at me their own way.
I gotta make a sentence at the end of this.
yeah, you could just, you really just,
Like a commercial, and then you tell us something. Time out.
What are you kidding? That was my whole childhood.
Really?
Oh yeah, I never knew when to shut up. Much like now, actually.
you could start off as recently, I was in the hospital. and I was
My
sitting
timeout comes at
down
5 o'clock,
right
so I
because
shouldn't worry
wanted
too
to
much
be
about
at
that.
school with my classmates, and it gives me great
Fine, at 5
pleasure.
o'clock,
How
man.
you spell recent?
They don't know it's
R-E-C-E.
Oh, R-E-C.
Cause see, 40th Street is 5 hours on Thursdays.
Nice. Alright. We have a total of 6 people left. We seem to have somehow lost Miss Taylor. Mr. Martinez left on an errand somewhere.
That's nice.
We'll make up his time on Monday. So,
I had somebody
Grand Galactic Inquisitor, Alex West, killed with that last line. If I can call your attention to him, I'm going to pick on him first.
Okay.
Right, you got a printout or at least something, you know, working notes. Hey, Mr. Rosalind, glad you could join us.
You want me to say it from here or you want me to sit? You sit. That's what I thought. I'll sit on the hot seat.
Hot seat. But where are the tacks I put there?
Let me look at it. Yeah.
Oh, and one more thing.
Recently, I was in the hospital.
Actually, I'll say it after. No, I'll say it before. One more thing. This is a little bit of an addendum. So, if I call on you and say, you know, for example, Miss Rosalind, come up and present, or you know, Mr. Alex, come up and present, you have every right in the world to say no. But the downside to that is that if you say no, and even if you say yes, I'm going to go over these, and we're going to make them a little bit sharper. You're going to present these again. I'm not going to tell you when. I might just pull them out of my little file drawer and say, hey, guess what, guys? You're going to present these again with these changes. So you have every right to refuse me, but that just means that your work will be subject to even greater scrutiny, and by me. Just thought I'd let you know. All right? Knock 'em dead, Mr. West.
Good afternoon. Today's date is 7/25/13. Writing class. My name is Alex West. Today in class, I was feeling extremely sadness when the instructor had to take time to review the same thing that Mr. Charles was talking about. Talking about depression, now I know how I feel. I was elated when everybody seemed to have gotten the message. On the other hand, I was very joyful that the mood in the room had changed for the better. We as adults should always show the utmost respect at all times and pay attention. Each one teach one.
Teach one, teach one.
Yes.
Ooh, that was a pithy phrase. All right, guys, applause, man. Come on, let's go.
Mr. Alley.
Come on, take takes nerve to sit up there and read your work.
So what are we working on now, the one we already finished?
The one you finished, you're going up there and you're presenting.
Okay.
You see?
Oh, boy, I gotta present.
All right, so before we move on to our next person, we're going to do something that they're definitely going to do in BBC. They do this in BBC feedback loop.
I believe they do, yes.
Ah, cool. So we're going to have a very limited form of feedback, which is easily one of the best words ever, just because it tells you exactly what it is. Feedback is where you get people's immediate reactions to what you did, and they point out things that you could do better and things that you did really well. I'll just start it off, and we'll get at least one other person to do it, so 2 people. So for me, I liked your conclusion was really good. Each one teach one is really catchy, really snappy, and if you ask me 5 days from now, what was Alex West's presentation's theme? Be like, oh right, he had that really catchy phrase, each one teach one, because it sticks, like a spike. That's great, wonderful. There were some issues you have to look up and surveil your audience, but that's demeanor stuff. Look a little bit more like you're happy to be there instead of
We all
them
have to do this.
holding something to the back of your head. Last bit, I'll work with you a little bit on verb tenses. There are a few nesses and ings that didn't really fit with the present tense. But that's cool. We can work on that. That's something that can be addressed. Overall, I thought you did all right. Anyone else have any feedback for Mr. Alex?
I like the fact that it was short and sweet.
Ha.
Very good.
It got to the point. His point came across very well because he simplified what he wanted to say, and it was just to the point. And his last sentence, you walked away something that you are going to remember because he kept it short to the point.
Right. Marie, got anything?
Yeah, I thought it was excellent. Very good job. And I would agree with what Diane had just said. Short to the point, and that last sentence certainly made an impact. And that's what's important.
All right. Cool. I'm looking at you, Miss Carol.
Huh?
Looking at you, Miss Carol.
What? All right.
First day back, you're making a splash.
Very good.
You want to come up? Oh yeah, okay. I'll just move the chairs
Hello,
now-
everybody.
Everyone, eyes front. Jetta, monitor off.
Hi. Hello.
Fair enough.
And mine decided short and sweet as Alex's, but that was huge, and it's sticking with me that each one teach one. I like that ending. But my name is Carol Young, and my essay is about me being a track star. I thought. Let me tell you about the day I became gloomy and very depressed. I remember it so well. See, what had happened is that I lost this track competition that I really wanted to win. The track meet was held at Franklin Field, and if you won, you would be eligible to go to New York. Yeah, it should be obvious by now that I thought I was a track star. I ran the 100 and the 440 relay. When I ran track, I was 12 years old, and I ran for the church, and the name of the church is Mount Carmel Baptist Church. Back then, I thought I was the bomb. When I ran track, I had a feeling of being elated, thrilled, and I was on top of the world. Every time we went to a track meet, I had a feeling of being joyous and thrilled. I needed to feel good about myself if I wanted to win the track meet. The competition was fierce and tough. There were other people there who wanted to win. All I thought of was winning and going to New York. I didn't win, and I still ran track for a while, but eventually I stopped. I stopped and I took up gymnastics. But that's another story. Today, I'm good, and I'm calm, and this is how I like to feel.
Any feedback from Ms. Carroll? Yeah?
I think it was good.
What made it good?
Because, she was interested in, her life, her experience in life, her, the goals that she tried to accomplish, and where she's at now in life.
Anything you particularly liked? Any single sentences? Anything you thought could have been done better? Go on.
I'm gonna be better off. I think she did all right.
All right. Anyone else have any feedback?
I like the way she used the word elate, how she ended
Elate.
that with elate. I like that, and how the story went on as she was to say that she really thought she was the bomb and she was the best. And even though she didn't get to accomplish her goal, she found something else to do with her life at that time when she went into gymnastics. And she ended it that she's very happy now, and she's content, and she's calm. So the story moved on. There was no dull part where you would go off. And I did hear the words that you were supposed to use in there, and she did give some emotion when she was saying it. So that was a good thing. She did give some emotion. If she was to write a book on her life, I'm sure there's parts that will be in the book that it's not, because this is a short story. But she did give me a background. I do know the background of this young woman now, of what she did in her younger life.
Right.
And she did use the words correctly.
She did.
The words that she was supposed to use, they were properly, to me, from what I know about writing, is I understood when she used the word, it went with the sentence.
My own 2 cents is that you have, Miss Carroll, you have a very personable way with the words. You treat them like they're old friends, which is really the best way to tell a story to a crowded room.
That's how
Like,
I felt it, personable.
If you can make someone feel like you're just talking to them, like the parentheticals, like, I thought I was the bomb, I was certain I was going to win. Those things serve to place us in your head at that time, because everyone's gone to a competition at some point and been utterly confident they're going to, utterly, level the competition and stand exalted and alone above the competition. But, that happens or doesn't happen. But giving us those moments lets us empathize with you and makes us, because the story's a bit longer, it keeps us in. It's very similar in the way to Each One Teach One, in that those sentences, I thought I was so great, they keep us in there. They keep us rooted in your story. It was very good use, I thought. There were some issues with redundancy. I think you might have said the same sentence once or twice, but that's cool. I did ask you to write this in 45 minutes, and there was no formal editing process, so that's to be expected. You were there for my other writing class, so you know how much I harp on about editing. So overall, I thought you did very well. Nicely done.
Thank you, sir.
No problem. Who's up next to the slaughter? I mean presentation. Ms. Roslin.
No.
All right. You already sent me your thing, right? Good, then I'll look it over. Ms. Jetta,
Yes.
we can get to see you in action,
Can I print it?
please?
Not there.
Say okay? Feel it?
There we go.
Can I comment on,
Yeah, go
on
ahead.
everybody while I'm doing that?
Hold on, what is it? Speak up.
On her presentation, I think she did very well because we as humans, when we see somebody per se in
I
a
joyfully
wheelchair,
was just
we seem to always think that they were born like that.
I don't. I don't think that, you know.
I'm not
Mr. Alex,
What I'm saying is,
Yeah.
it really made me think
that part.
about
Yeah.
how she was when she was younger. And that's telling me that she wasn't in a wheelchair.
Right.
That's why I said what I said.
And she made it so personal that I could relate to everything she said, especially when she said Franklin Field. I know exactly what that is. You know.
I don't care what's a runner.
Yeah.
You look like a runner too.
I enjoyed it.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Alex.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, I love public speaking.
You're gonna be fine.
I hope. Okay, guys, it's a little, it upsets me, but here I go. I once had a great job working for the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development. I worked in as an employee there for several years. In the year 1999, I lost my daughter's father to lung cancer. I became depressed and had to seek therapy. It was unbearable getting out of bed each morning because of my loss. 6 months later, I lost my mother to renal disease. My life began to seem gloomy and full of despair. I did not want to accept the loss of my mother and did not want to go to work anymore. So I resigned my position as an administrative assistant. My co-workers did, however, give me a nice departure of monetary gifts and cards. I received help for my sickness by continuing to see my therapist. I am now thrilled with my life because I have great times with my family who keep me happy with plenty of joyous occasions.
That was nice.
Y'all like it?
Very nice.
Yeah, I was depressed for a long time, guys. That's
Don't
why I
show
talk
it
a lot now.
Anyone have any feedback for Miss Jetta? All right, Miss Carol and then Mr. West.
I think that she, as you saying about mine, she was real personable about her story, you know, and when she first started talking, she said she might cry or whatever. We understood why when she read her story about the losses that were in her life. And she also told that she knew what to do, how she had to handle it by seeking therapy to become a stronger individual. And right now she's back on her march. She's ready to go again.
Indeed. Thank you, Miss Carol.
Thank
Mr.
you.
West.
Yes, I think that that was very, very well done because a lot of times when we write things, we don't get personalized and personalize it. She personalized all of the, the hard times that happened in her life, and she also showed me that everybody deals with grief differently.
Yeah.
You know, and now when she seemed overjoyed, and I can tell that she dealt with it, and she's moving on with her life, and now she's full of joy, and I bear witness to it.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was
I hope
very
you
nice.
guys buy my books in the years to come. Remember me now.
Hard to forget someone with your personality, Miss Jetta.
Yeah, it was lost. I'm coming back.
Yeah.
Couldn't work for years. But I always kept my education. Even though I couldn't go back to work, I just kept on, keeping up my reading skills, things like that. Staying online, staying on the computer,
You stay
suck it up all the
focused.
education I can, yeah. I'm a
stay
jack of all
focused.
trades and a master of none.
You stay focused.
Pharmacy tech, a national certified pharmacy tech,
Oh, man.
secretary, administrative clerk,
Many hats. You wear many hats.
tax examiner with the IRS.
Quite.
I'm like, why did I give all this up, you know? I'm just hoping I can find something in the future. Just as good.
This is good.
You will be alive.
We're gonna be fine. Miss Diane, you want to round us out?
All right. After what I heard, everybody was so good.
Ah.
Okay.
First among equals.
Let's get the glasses because I'm gonna be able to read my own phone. It's small.
Is it?
Okay, I wrote on my first day at work. During the course of my life, I had numerous jobs. My first day at work actually had begun at the age of 9, which I was working for my uncle. He owned, I'm sorry, I turned around, which was owned by my Uncle Joe. Being 9 years old at the time, I had no idea that I was being underpaid. It saddens me to think that a family member would pay you in food. As the years went on, I had become a cosmetology, and I currently have been licensed for 35 years. I remember my first day at the hair salon, as it was yesterday. I was so very excited thinking that I would be working on clients, such as coloring, cutting, and styling their hair. What a depressing day to find out that I was going to be shampooing, sweeping floors, and folding towels. At that time, I was very, very sad. As time went on, I did become an all-around stylist, and I am very so joyful that I had an opportunity in my life to have a trade. I was 35 years old working as a hairstylist, and a dear friend had asked me to drive her for a job interview at the Veterans Stadium. Not only did I drive her, I also was hired on that day. I would be working during the Philadelphia Eagles football teams on their home games. Being thrilled was the least of what I was feeling. The first home game, the weather was gloomy. We both were assigned to the 700 level. For anyone who is familiar with the stadium knows, look out, cheer madness. When the team fumbled the ball, the fans would become miserable and showed signs of sorrow. With all the chaos, I was elated to be working there. So I took on a few of my words, but I wanted to get the words in.
You got that. Any feedback from Miss Diane? Nicely done.
You're welcome.
Anyone want to comment?
She's a jacket of all trades. She does hair, and then she ended up at what's that, Lincoln Field.
Yeah, now they're at the Lincoln Field. Yeah, I left when they third year into the Lincoln Field. I worked there like 11 or 12 years.
Miss Jenna.
I think she was a little comical in the end. That with her uncle. I didn't believe family could do something like that. Oh, you better believe it, they can.
That was 9 years old too. I didn't know any
Yeah, that was great to hear.
Yeah, humor is always great.
Yeah.
It can keep people reading
Right.
much longer than many devices I can think of. Humor and relating to the author are two of the things that you should strive to use. Even in business writing, wry humor is appreciated, and if people empathize with you, then they're more likely to listen to what you have to say. So, I think you did an excellent job. You used a little bit of not underhanded, but subtle humor. It's less, Harpo falls off a wall, and more along the lines of a wry comment. It works very well. It's a good thing to do because you have to keep reading in order to get the joke. I also wondered what parts of your printed out thing you highlighted out of
Oh, well, I highlighted the words that we were supposed to use, and then as I was sitting here, as I was reading it to myself, because I didn't get a chance really to go over it with Mr. and Nancy, I seen where, like, one part I think I could have eliminated the one word, and there's a couple of parts where I could have put a comma, or I could have changed the wording a little bit to make it sound more as a story, more on, I guess then you would go and see what education level it would on, because it would sound better. It would sound more of an educated talk than you know.
Got it, right.
That's
More-
where I was trying.
More
and then-
fluid, you mean?
Yeah, so I actually sent you the other one, so you'll see as you read
Okay.
it where I could have put,
Great,
yeah, okay.
excellent. You guys are doing well. Mr. Yancey, any
No.
thought? No, I wasn't gonna pick on you. I was gonna say, do you have any thoughts on Miss Diane's presentation?
Very good.
Do you have more thoughts that go longer than 2 words?
She was very good.
What was that?
She was very good. It's
I
technically
like
3
that.
words. Well played.
Let's go for 4
Yeah.
Today.
today.
Today feels like a hard day for a lot of us. So let's live down on an easier note, shall we? So if you'll check your email, you'll see that there's an assignment from me. Come on, you know you
saw it.
have it. I know
I
some.
ain't got no computer at home.
Right, so you come in on your own time and finish it off.
I don't have no other time to get there.
But it's all right.
We'll work
I
something
can do
out. Don't worry about it. No need to stress. What's up?
Well,
This is my disbelieving.
since you saved it, you can just continue.
All right,
working
so-
on it.
I did. I do it a little bit distracted.
Now,
Pull it
you
up.
have to go and take file.
I'm going to do a little bit of review
Whenever you change
over about what I
something,
expect from your homework.
use my file.
Okay, I printed it out
Go to save.
Save or
Yeah,
save.
just save, because you already saved this. By hitting that save, that means that you just added.
No one feels the need to preserve these words for eternity, do they? Good, because if they did, they'd be disappointed.
Oh, man.
All right, cool. So,
All right, we open it.
okay, homework guidelines. Whenever I send you homework in this format, that is sheet with vocabulary, sentence, and prickly pears, plus an additional writing assignment attached, here's what I expect. Okay? Now you can see some of what I expect in the email itself, but we're going to go with, unless you don't have a computer at home, written in the document I send you. All right, these are the 2 biggies. So, the written answers to this sort of assignment, where it's in a Word document, are to be done to the document itself and not in a blank document. I mean, I went through the trouble of sending it to you. It makes it easier to read if it's a written out in Microsoft Word. I don't have to deal with the bugbear of handwriting. So that's the first one. Second one is you are to retitle the document with your name and date. And in this case, it's just as easy as doing a save as, putting in, Gene Blackman, 0725, and then YIC assignment 2/2. That I will accept because I can identify who it's from and when it was done. That's easier. All right. If you don't have a computer at home, you come in and do it here. If you can't come in and do it here due to some other reason, come talk to me or Miss Marie after class and we'll work something out. Okay? Any questions so far? Do these seem like things that are logical? All right, that's just a silence that begs for trouble next class period. So speak up.
Well, you answered my question because I don't have a computer home either. But you said you made a statement in the question in the answer. You said that all we gotta do is show up and do it here.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
just gotta make time.
Right.
Like a job. If you really want that job, you go after it. You think you get it.
Absolutely. Well said, Mr. Woods. All right, so these are the two big ones. Anything else I can reasonably excuse? Yeah.
The most common misconception is it about us, or it could be about anything in the world that we feel that
Is
something
unaddressed.
is being said or done that really is there's a misconception.
Right. The reason the prompts are as open-ended as they are is to allow you, at least this early in the semester, to be as nebulous or open, or to even give you a soapbox. Everyone here knows the phrase soapbox to stand on.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to say, like, say, for example, WRI doing this, I think the greatest misconception is that rainbows are pretty. Screw rainbows. They are the most hideous act of nature ever enforced upon humankind.
Right.
For example, were I to say that, which I don't actually believe, but, you know, give an
Right.
example. So pick whatever. It gives you something to work with. It also runs the risk of, you know, paralyzing you, but you guys are all sharp. You all have something you want to chime in about, so I don't think it's that bad. Just something you think is misunderstood or unappreciated.
Okay.
So yes. What else was I going to get over? All right, must be in. Oh yeah, Dave. Must be sent to for 1 day.
So on Monday.
So okay, I'm going to go into this for a very good reason. You must send in the assignment to me before. Wow, I misspelled before. It's such a shame. Okay, before 1 on the day of the class. See, I'm getting tired of making stupid errors. So it's easier for me if you guys send this to me at the very latest at 1 o'clock the day of class. And the reason for that is, since you're good enough to oblige these other conditions, I can look it over briefly, make sure you got the first part of the page done all right. Like if there are any glaring errors, I can address them quickly. And then I have time to go over your essays and make marks and give you feedback. You see? And if you do it at 1, that means I can just spend the first half hour correcting your homework, so we actually have something of substance to go over in class, instead of me scrambling like I was earlier today. Like, you know, everyone ever see a chicken with its head cut off?
Yeah, you be running around. You just
That's what happens when you don't hit the brainstem. It's ugly. All right, so that's the other thing I'm going to be pretty firm about. Also, CC Marie. I'm sorry, I'm going to fill up your inbox. Marie. Have sorry, my handwriting is terrible, but it's easier to write it down and then go off on it than just talk and forget. Also, I would like you, ideally, to have a printed copy of this before or at the very beginning of class. So when we start to go over this, you have it right there. And if I pick on someone, like I say, all right, Rosalind, you look like you need a wake up today. So why don't you read me what you think is the biggest misconception from your essay segment? And she'll be, great, thank God I printed that out and I can do it. I mean, she probably wouldn't put it that way, but that would be the overall message. Okay? So that's the reasoning behind that particular rule. Hopefully you guys took notes on this, and even if you didn't, this is why we have that little friendly tube thing over there. This whole class was recorded. It's up on the website. I can send you the link if you want. It's about 20. All right, so let's just go over the basic part of the homework. I'll go through the definition with you. Although I did see some of you guys starting to edge towards starting the homework before it was even the end of class. Not to name any names. So here we go. Alright, so open up the homework I sent out. We're just going to go over the definition of instigate really quickly. I want to make sure you get it. One of the main things I want to get across is that instigate is different from the very similar sounding word initiate, and they have very different connotations. I see.
And Troy, why are you trying to instigate the fight between me and my sister?
If I was trying to get you to fight someone, you would
I'd
never
like-
even know it.
You know, I just get a possible fight with someone that's been going for a while.
Hey, Charles, let's go up to the top. He's done. I'm really getting the first part.
I did.
I know, I want to be able to get the same part of it that everyone else has done. You can work on the essay that better, okay? Alright, so let me just go over a few very key things about instigate that the definition sort of just glosses over. Okay? So I don't want to see anyone misusing the word instigate. Alright, so the definition of the word instigate is to bring about or initiate an action or event. Instigating legal proceedings, for example, means to begin legal proceedings. The secondary meaning is to incite, that is to make someone do something, especially something bad. So you can see from its secondary definition, that means the one that's used less, that it means provoking someone to do something that's not so great. So because of that secondary definition, the word itself is kind of viewed with a little bit of a leer. Like you wouldn't say, I am the greatest instigator of all time. That's not a bragging point. I mean, you might be if you had a business card that said Overlord on it somewhere. Daryl Daniels, everyone. Give him a round of applause.
Just throw money.
Yeah. All right, so that's instigating. What? Yeah, you used it quite right. If I was instigating you and your sister to, have a fight of some sort, I might.
You know how siblings are.
Yeah. So if someone spreads gossip in hopes of starting, a fight between two people, that's an event. That's an example of an instigator. Or someone leaving insulting notes around the academy is hoping to instigate a reaction, to provoke.
Especially something that's
So remember, it's not necessarily considered a good thing. On your resume or a cover letter, you would never say, I was the prime instigator of several corporate takeovers. You would never write that. Instigate is not something you ever want to have attached to yourself. Okay? So just to make sure you get the subtleties of it. Alright? Because it can sound like a pretty heroic word. It's not. Alright? That said, you all feel confident about the definition, so now when I ask you to write a sentence about it that's more than 3 words long, you feel pretty good about it?
Yes.
Great. Alright.
Every night.
You guys have been good today. It's not been an easy one. So go home, get some rest, enjoy your work. Drop me a note if you feel like it, and I'll see you Tuesday.
Indistinct. That's not good. That's it.
Indiscriminate.
Indis-